Hello there, my Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign. Welcome to your Samhain reading for 2019, as well as it's a combo. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, and president of Drawing Circle Productions, in business since 1998. That's 21 plus years. My grandmother always used to say when somebody would ask her age, she goes, "In 21 plus." Well, my company is actually 21 plus. Producing spiritual events, now doing it on YouTube, and it's a hoot. So welcome my new watchers, my subscribers. Thank you so very much for subscribing. I'm making my way. I'm making my way up to 1,000 so that I can do super live chat. And you want that. Trust me, you want that. Feel your gut, right? Oh, sorry, Aquarians, check your third eye. Subscribe, like, share, all that shit. Get me out there, right? Because I'm fun, I am well trained. I've been reading tarot since I am 12 years old. I'm 51 and I don't look it, right? I'd tell you my secret for eternal youth, but that don't come cheap. Both me telling you and what you ought to do. All right, so a couple of things. Number one, this is a general read, right? So it may not click for everybody. That's why I always do at least Sun, Moon, Rising signs, right? For when I do a zodiacal read. Mercury for obviously a Mercury retrograde, Venus for relationship stuff. I don't know if I'll work with any of the other planets because they're outer planets. Like, I don't know why I would use Mars. Oh, maybe I would use Mars for sex reads. Oh, good idea. Thank you, Aquarians. So, you know, that's why I have trigger warning in the description box. Trigger warning, this is a Samhain read. Now, by the way, if you can't tell, it's Halloween. No, I don't fucking look like this every day. Kind of, sort of, right? Except I'm wearing eyeliner. I'm wearing eyeliner and mascara for you all. I always wear a little pressed powder. No one needs to be shiny on YouTube. Am I right, ladies? And girls and queens, am I right? No one needs to be shiny on YouTube. You know, Halloween and Samhain, not technically the same thing, right? October 31st, the day I'm doing this reading, it's sort of like the bank holiday for Samhain. You know what I mean? It's like what everybody thinks of, but really the cross quarter of Samhain, which means, okay, there are 8 spokes in the pagan wheel of the year, 8 Sabbats, right? It's solar. It's the wheel of the sun instead of the wheel of the moon, right? The wheel of the year. So this is the last spoke. So if you draw a circle, cut it in quarters, those are the 4 seasons everybody knows, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Yeah, I got to, whatever. You know what I mean? Going clockwise. It's reverse camera. It's good for you. It's not great for me. So that's the quarters, the cross quarters, and then you'd go that way. So you got 4 and 8. And this is the last spoke before we hit the top again, new Yule, winter solstice, the new moon of the sun, if you like. So this is the dark moon of the sun. Fabulous. Letting go, right? And some people think it's a day. It's not. Oh, and the actual cross-quarter day, I looked it up, November 6th, right? So next week. So it's sort of like, you know, have your fun, eat your candy, bob for apples or otherwise. Gag reflex. And you know, get ready, because this is with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, going retrograde today. Holy crap, holies. A lot of stuff's going to come back for healing. A lot of stuff, like toxic people are going to come back. What I call ex-boyfriend flash flood, ex-lover flash flood. Let's go, yay! Grab your dinghy, because waters are going to get high, right? Particularly Mercury and Scorpio of all things. So that's why trigger warning, right? It's like, this is a reading about alchemy. This is a reading about embracing the shadow. This is about clearing out your emotional baggage. I know, Aquarians, you don't have any. You don't have time for that sort of thing. You're above all that sort of things. Until you fucking explode. I love my Aquarians. I think I have a booty call with an Aquarian tonight. Well, we'll see, right? You know, it's Halloween. Kids knocking on the door and shit. You take your Snickers. Trick or treat, trick or trick. Look what I can do. Stuart? Okay, so yeah, I'm ready. The decks are blessed. Breathe, right? Not just your air signs. Boy, you got to breathe anyway. I hope my guides remind me, breathe, because the energy is so fucking intense in general, let alone blessing the decks for the Aquarians. So I'm going to try and yuck it up a little bit. Please don't get offended. And if you do, look, if something triggers you, that's really your intuition, sometimes even your soul directly communicating, saying, this is if something touches on your hidden landmine, isn't it better to know that you have a hidden landmine. Don't blame the person who triggers it, right? The person who triggers you is not responsible for your trigger. And I'm sorry, a lot of people don't like that. But if people don't trigger you, how are you going to heal? How are you going to heal the stuff in the subconscious and the unconscious, right? Or you could do like I do and go into the underworld on the regular. Great fun. It is actually. Hades and Persephone are wonderful hosts, and considering their family, you know. Okay, so let's dive in. What we're going to do is going to pull a couple of cards from 5 different decks. We're going to start with Caroline Myss archetype cards. All of the cards that I read are always in the description box all the way at the bottom, but go check out my description box. My books are on there. I've written 2 ebooks so far, Spell Ingredients and Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. Writing that book saved my shit last year. I went through such devastation, like suicidal, the whole fucking nine. Didn't do it, obviously. Still here, and look, I look great, right? Rising from ashes. So that book is just chock full of prayer. It's the processes and the prayers and the practices that I did to get through that. But anyway, the deck. So we're going to start this. This is going to be sort of like the dominant energy. It's going to represent you archetypally. And I love Caroline Myss. She is my favorite female spiritual teacher. Matt Kahn, my brand new favorite male spiritual teacher. So go check them out too. Caroline Myss, M-Y-S-S, Matt Kahn, K-A-H-N. But why I love Caroline Myss in this deck in particular is because these are not all the archetypes that exist, right? There's always new ones coming, there are old ones dying. And everyone, oh, here's the goddess just off the top, right? So we've got a light attribute and a shadow attribute, or as I like to use the alchemical language, gold and lead. And so these readings are about what do you need to embrace, what do you need to alchemize the toxicity of lead into the healing of gold. Cool, is that all the preamble necessary? Let's get, don't just stand there, let's get to it. Pull some cards, nothing to it, vague. Little Julie Brown for you there. Okay, breathe. Oh, my collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and the higher souls of all involved, please. One card in clarity, there you are, for this Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury Sign for this Samhain season, and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. What's going on? What is the dominant archetype for them? The soul power, the soul contract that they are alchemizing from lead to gold. This came up in another read. Don't remember which one. It's the mediator archetype, sort of being in the middle, caught up. Don't cry just a little. I don't know. That stuck in my head. Thank you, DJ Hermes. So I'm going to read the light and the shadow for you now. We're actually going to start with the shadow. Usually I start with the light so that you kind of get, this is the energetic dynamic, the soul lessons, right? The soul power that you came in to refine, right? To alchemize from lead to gold in this. This not just in this life, can be lifelong, but probably, you know, just for this period. Shadow attribute, breathe. Negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally, right? Hidden agendas are all about the shadow, right? They're hidden. You don't want anybody to see it. And sometimes it's so hidden you don't even realize it's running the show, right? You are aware of it. Archetypes are patterns in the collective unconscious. So as you alchemize an archetype within yourself, you alchemize it for everybody, right? So, you know, gee, are we looking at people who are supposed to be mediators who are favoring one side in the world? No. No, never. So let's shoot for the light archetype, shall we, my aquas? Gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. Now, you're very humanitarian, but how you do it in your one-on-one relationships, right? Are you being fair? And if you are in the middle in a third-party situation, which is not always about, you know, a sexual romantic thing, right? Between two members of your family, between two friends. Maybe this is professional, right? Where there's a conflict of interest. No emoluments. So, you know, we gotta be fair. It's about you being fairness. Now, this would not come up as an archetype card unless there was some shadow, right? Unless there was something you're going to be dealing with where you are going to have to really be challenged, whether or not you're going to let an ulterior motive run your mediation, or if you are going to balance that with fairness and a strategy, right? So it's not just about being fair, it's also about negotiating a strategy, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the Chuck Spezzano Love deck, and I divided the deck into two. One half, literally one half of this deck is what I call the womp womp cards, womp womp. Oh look, it's a trap, it's the trap card. It's not much of a trap house though, is it? Not really. Not that I've ever really been in one, although the 80s, they weren't called that then. So these are the problem cards. So this is going to represent the lead part of the archetypal dynamic. And then the other deck is the healing, luck, and grace suits. All right, so their suits, so there's the problem suits, and then these three others. This will represent the light, the gold, all of that. Shall we? My Ascended Masters, this deck I use for the voices of the Ascended Masters, please. If you're not familiar, here's my take on it. They're the souls that have already completed, graduated from Earth schools, they got their master's degree, and they operate from higher dimensional, fifth dimension and above. You know, people are talking about gods and angels and stuff. Well, where do you think they are? Well, not really that way, deeper in and higher up, higher dimensional. So these are the ones who've graduated. They know the game, right? They see the quantum paradigm, all of it as a whole, all its multidimensional timelines and lifetimes. Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? Oh, I'm going to miss Stephen and Mel. Well, I'm sure he'll be doing something else. You can't keep a good man down. He's a good man, isn't he? So, okay, sorry. Put a little Mel distraction there. Arrow. Let's get your lead on this. All right, so my Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity for this Aquarian collective here. In this Samhain tide with this and Mercury retrograde, this mediator. Oh yeah, so Mercury retrograde is really going to make you rethink this shit. So please, my masters, please, what is the lead here? An indication of the lead. Lack of self-worth. Lack of self-worth. Now look, everybody deals with I'm not good enough on some level, but this is going to be a big deal in this one because you can't possibly not have a shadow agenda if you are operating with lack of self-worth somewhere in the system, like a virus in the computer. It's going to glitch things, right? You're not going to intuit this clearly because, well, particularly if you're trying to use your intuition, go with your gut on this stuff. Intuition and self-esteem are linked, and self-esteem is not a noun, it is a verb. Very healable though. Incredibly healable, because the truth is you're a divine being that was chosen to incarnate to play the role. Like the soul in this body, higher self, call it what you want, was chosen to play the role of Archangelo Lyons, and I think we're kicking the crap out of it at 51 if you ask me, right? So lack of self-worth, you know, you'll put up with a lot of crazy shit. Or you go the other way around and you're a narcissist. At the core of every narcissist, passive, active, overt, covert, doesn't matter. At the core there is a lack of self-worth, a feeling of worthlessness. That not just do they, it's not that they feel like shit, they feel they are shit, right? There's a wound there that never got dealt with, so they wear this mask, and underneath it is all of this lack of self-worth. It just seems like it's like the narcissists are being exposed left, right, and center in the collective, and the human collective, right? So let's get some Goldie McGold for that, right? Please, my masters, one card to help heal this. A piece of luck, a piece of grace, a piece of healing for this Aquarian collective. There you are, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury signs for this Samhain tide, and Merc Ret in Scorp. Oh, irresistibility. This one keeps popping up too. This is like, I think, the third time in these readings that irresistibility has come up. So, you know, I gotta say, oh, the vibe I'm getting on this is that the irresistibility here in you, you are really drawn towards one of the two, right? There's something irresistible about one of the two, right? Because if you're going to be a mediator, you can't really mediate between yourself and somebody else, right? How do you do that? You totally have the thumb on the scale there, right? But you're like, ooh, drawn. And with your lack of self-worth, it's about standing up and saying, hey, no, I have to be fair and balanced on this. Don't you know? It is Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and Samhain tide. I'll have my ass handed to me. I'll have to repeat this over and over and over again. You are worth it. You're a divine being in a meat suit. And bless the meat suit. Love the meat suit. Love the personality you're playing, right? But talk to yourself like in third person that way. It's like, it's okay. Ladies, what I say, it's okay, Mark, I'm here. Because we all have moments of lack of self-worth. Because, like I said, it's a lack of self-worth, just like narcissism, just like anything else, is in the collective. It's in the quantum everything, right? Not in my cats so much, right? So, right, like, because why? Some people have healed it, and as you heal it within yourself, you help heal it for everybody else. So talk about a global humanitarian, philanthropic, Aquarian activity. You could really be a hero on this one, right? Really be a hero. Stand up and you know, whatever the consequences are, you can know you did your best, right? Even if the person fucking hates you. Tough. Tough titty. I had to be honorable. So with that irresistibility, you know, you have to really resist the lack of self-worth making you go all toxic shadow. You will regret it, because right now it's all about honor. You've been watching the news. The dishonorable are being dragged out into social media and in the news and all of that. It's, well, you know, signs of the apocalypse. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think, you know, thank you, Michael Stipe, it's just the end of the world as we know it, and the way we've known it has been the way we've known it for a really long time. It's a change. And oh my God, the age of aquariums, right? This is it. This could very much be, at least for this segment of your journey, your part in your contribution to the anchoring of fifth dimensional unity consciousness, which is very Aquarian. Live long and prosper. And imploding, destroying the illusion of separation, third dimensional and fourth dimensional consciousness. Fourth dimensional consciousness is all that psychological, mental, emotional, personal stuff that's getting the shit purged out, right? So keep in mind the quantum, right? That you are help healing the lack of self-worth in the human collective. Now, what we're going to do is something a little fun. I'm going to do the element spread, just 5 cards. We're going to clarify it with an angel deck. So it'll be a 10-card spread, essentially. Fire, earth, air, water, spirit, right? To help clarify this, using the Daughters of the Moon, Tarot, Fiona Morgan. Love this deck. Breathe. My gods, Heracles and Athena and Heracles, those who share the throne of Aquarius in my 7th house, please. Top 5 cards in clarity, element spread for this Aquarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign this Samhain season, and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Fire, what do they want? This Aquarian mediator. Earth, what do they have to help them get what they want? Air, what do they think about what they want? Water, what do they feel what they want? And spirit, the higher selves overview, the overview of the gods of this situation. Top 5 cards, riffle, shuffle, then cut. Riffle, shuffle, then please a clean cut, because the first cut is the deepest. Maiden, good, thank you, Mother Crone. What an unclean cut is when a card catches on the joint of my finger, and that says, no, I want to be the top card. Doesn't everybody want to be a top? Got some bottoms. You're the top. No, you're not. You're the Tower of Pisa. Oh, sorry, now I have Diana Rigg in my head. If you know that reference, comment in the box below. Oh, Diana Rigg. I'm going to look like Emma Peel. All right, here we go. Let's go. I know I just shuffled it again. They're like, reshuffle, kid. You just went off. I'm like, I know. So please. Riffle, shuffle, cut in 3. That's the same fucking cards. Maiden. Yeah, got it. Maiden, Mother, Crone, clean cut. Okay. This is why we put them on the selenite deck. Yeah, this is what the deck sits on. No wonder 10 minutes into this reading, I'm like, so aquariums, what you want? Oh, you want to appraise. I love this card, appraisal. You know, 7 of Pentacles, right? You're sort of looking at the seeds that you've planted, right? You're looking at how far this has come. This is what you want. You want to like really, really appraise the situation as a mediator. You want to assign value, which might very well be. This could be about money. This could be about energy, what you're putting into work, where you are spreading your seed, so to speak. We'll leave that right there. Remember, we're going to clarify all of these, but that's cool, right? You know, you got earth in your fire. That makes sense. Now, what's the earth that will feed the fire, like the wick of the candle that feeds the flame? What do we got? Well, we got 6 of Pentacles. Success, and even success under handicap. I love this card because, you know, if you're dealing with lack of self-worth, you know, you're carrying some lead around with you. So you have that within you. Keep going. Keep moving forward. That 6 of Pentacles is about balance. So you have yourself balanced enough. And again, there's another kind of mediator reference, right? Being fair, right? Bringing that strategy in a just way. Maybe about justice, but not getting that vibe, like not feeling the legal vibe, at least not yet. We'll see if the Justice card pops. Ma'at. So what are you thinking about this? Oh, Well, in your element of air, you got the card of criticism. Dude, that 9 of blades, this shit keeping you up at night, you going over details, you know, criticism, look, all those arrows pointing in. Yeah, it can be that, like, being critical, right? Just, like, being a bitch about it. And is that the shadow side of the mediator, that you've got a hidden agenda? Maybe you don't like one of these people, and maybe you're really drawn to the other, right? So in your lack of self-worth, it's like, can I stand up and do what's fair? So this is obsessing your mind, obsessing your mind, obsessing your mind. And I don't often see it, this card, with that energy of the 9 of Swords, like in the Rider-Waite deck. You're like, right, with the zodiac bed spread. I actually had something like that once. I have a king-size bed now, it wouldn't have fit. This is really like overthinking in the head, but you're an air sign. Makes sense. So now let's look at the water, because I have a feeling with this irresistibility. How you feeling about what you want? Yeah, no, this is the Hermit, right? This is the Hermit. I'm going to figure this out on my own. The Kaliach. It's the Kaliach, right? Riding the gray horse, right? The crone energy. Pulling in, going within. So emotionally, you want to pull back. You don't really want to do this. And I think this is very similar. Is that the Scorpio read? I think it was the Scorpio read that had the mediator. Don't quote me on that. The vibe on this is like, I need to fucking back away from this for a little bit, go within and connect, because again, I'm not seeing any water cards here, but this is your first major arcana out of 4, which is, you know, not big. So this is really more about your intuition, your emotional well-being. And I feel like your emotional well-being, particularly if you're dealing with a narcissist, then they're going to like do anything they can to make you feel less than, even in very, very subtle ways, right? Like if they say they're going to do things and they don't, right? They say you're going to meet you, or you make a plan, or they're vague about it, and then they're just like, oh, I'm sorry, I had something else to do. That is subtle, what's called covert narcissism, because we can usually catch an overt narcissist right off the bat, right? It's like, what'd you fucking say? I will pick up this table and hurl it at you. You say that shit to me. Who the fuck raised you, right? And isn't that the case? It's usually childhood shit, right? So that's the feeling, that there's some triggery stuff going on here, that maybe one of them, God forbid, you're having to mediate between your 2 parents. I mean, I had to do that when I was a little itty-bitty kid, right? My parents divorced when I was 2. Talk about wars. War zone. So, you know, that's a lot of stuff to take on. But perhaps there is a parental thing here, or somebody in your past who used to put you down overtly, covertly, passively, actively, making you feel that. And I'm getting at that's, you're like, you know what? Let me use this opportunity to pull back and go, why am I so fucking triggered about this? Well, because your overall is Scorpio, right? So you got to rethink this. This is the Scorpio card. Hecate, you're at a crossroads here. This is not just a minor thing. It may appear like a minor thing, but it is a huge opportunity for you to be honorable, for you to embrace the shadow, for you to love what rises. And look, no one likes this, but, well, some people like it because they get it. The 5th dimensional point of view of this reality is that everything that happens for us, not to us. Everything is here to help us. You don't have to like it, though. You see, like, I knew that a long time ago, but I was like, but this sucks, right? If it's all about, oh, I have to feel good to stay in alignment, it's like, no, you don't have to like it. You don't have to like it. You can even actively hate it. But if you acknowledge it, saying, somehow this is fucking healing me, by embracing this shadow, by feeling this turmoil, this lack of self-worth, which is the last thing I want to feel ever, but better out than in, right? You know, it's like if you're doing a dietary detox and you crap worms. It happens. I did a cleanse, a rise and shine back in the 90s. Ooh, the stuff that came out, right? But better out than in, as freaky as it is, as scary as exorcism is, and that's what loving what rises is, right? Self-love. It is like personal exorcism. And what do? It's okay. It's okay. It's that terrified child, right? The ego is like this terrified child that wants what it wants. It's got all of those emotions. It's like such a huge part of the shadow. But though there is personal shadow within us related to our own stories, our own pasts, our own experiences, our own wounds, our own traumas, on and on and on and on, there is really only one collective ego. And that is sort of like the virus in the program, but all it really needs is to be heard and to be loved, but never acted upon. In fact, you can tell when you're coming from a place of self-worth, a lack of self-worth. This is not the time to act on this, right? That's your intuition. That's your soul saying, you're not relaxed about this. You're not in balance here. Pull back, pull back, pull back, because there is some transformation here. And you know, 8th house, mysticism, money, sex, power, and other people's resources. And are those resources like approval? Right? If you are dealing with a narcissist, that, I mean, it's just so in the air right now. I cut a bunch of them out of my life for the past 2 weeks. It's been like Archangel Michael buzzsaw, right? Chainsaw time. And now it's like my clients are coming to me, like before I even said anything about it publicly, I'm like getting these clients and they're like, I'm dealing with a narcissist. I'm like, oh fuck, right? So sometimes you go through things so that you can be a mediator, so you can help someone, oh, here, I just heard mediate their pain. Are you a healer? Are you a healer? Heal thyself, because then this is happening not just to heal you, but to help others, right? Your clients, maybe the people in your life, but never unless they ask. You have to wait until they ask. You cannot ram this shit down their throat unless they beg you to. Sorry, like I said, it's Halloween. Let's clarify this. Samhain. I took Hades as a patron this year. Maybe he took me. Him and Persephone are so lovely. Let's get you some clarifiers here. So my angels, they're giggling. Please, one card here in clarity for this 7 of Pentacles, the fire, this appraisal, this assigning value, right? That thing of, well, let me look this out. How much is this worth? Like an appraisal, like if you get a car appraised, right, or a piece of jewelry appraised, you may want to know what it's made of, but mostly you want to know what's it worth. You get an opinion, an estimation, right? Oh, and self-estimation with lack of self-worth. Oh, got it. There's some of that too, right? You know, that's in here too. So you're in a situation of being a mediator, but at the same time, you're appraising your own self-worth. You're appraising yourself in this, hence the Hermit card above it. That does make sense. So my angels, please clarify. Oh, the deck was upside down. The angels, please clarify this. What's going on here? Whoop, whoop. Oh, enchantment. Hate this card. Well, I love this card tonight. It's a love-hate relationship. I love it because it does recommend that it suggests that the divine is at work. The fairies of the universe are working on your behalf, that everything is helping you, but you don't see it, right? It's like you don't see it. It is enchanted, like an enchanted ring. It looks like a ring, but it's really the shield of Zeus, the Aegis, and it is a totem that when I wear it, it's like a pin code. it's like speed dial. But to anybody else, it's just a pretty ring, right? But the other reason I don't like it is because, well, I'm a Virgo, and I'm sure you get this, Aquarians. It's like, what the fuck is going on? No. Enough of this enchantment. What's the lesson? What do I got to do here so that you can appraise clearly? So maybe you can't appraise this, but you want to appraise this clearly because there's something enchanting and perhaps irresistible about it. So the earth that feeds the flame, right? 6 of Pentacles here, the card of success. Success under handicap. Please, my angels, one card in clarity for this Aquarian collective in their element of earth, 6 of Pentacles. What's this about? You have an answered prayer. Answered prayer. That this success and this breakthrough, there is a prayer in play, but is it the fact that it is actually enchanted, that you don't know it's there, right? And that you could very much be the answer to this prayer, but I think you have to know that your prayer has already been answered, just maybe you haven't downloaded it yet. Maybe you haven't seen it, experienced it yet. Why? Because we've got in the mental state here this card of criticism, some overthinking, some being like critical care unit, right? It's like they watch every single like piece of data that comes in when you're in a critical state, like critical mass. So let's have a look here. My angels, please clarify that 9 of Blades here. Music. Now, does not make sense in a literal sense, right? So, you know, there are so many ways to see this, so I'm going to try. Okay, so there are a couple of different ways for the people watching this. Number one is pay attention to the music in your life. That there are audio tarot, I call it. Like I'll throw on a random playlist on Spotify or YouTube or something, blast it on the big screen and, you know, my big screen TV, and flood the house with music. And then of course, as I'm thinking something or saying a word and the same word is played, it's like, oh, okay. And then what's the meaning of that word? What are the songs stuck in your head? So there's definitely the audio tarot part of this. But the other part of it is get that this is a song that you can endure. Oh, and also, is this looping? Is this looping like an earworm? There it is. Is it looping like an earworm with this? Oh God, oh my God, this is like a song that keeps playing in your head. M-O-M-O-R-M-O-R-N-I-N-G. To the nth degree, right? To the ninth degree, at least. So this is something that's just repetitive, and maybe you have heard this song before. Symbolically speaking, the other thing that music can mean is that, like any piece of music, it has a beginning, middle, and end, but can be repeated, right? So this may be a repeat mental performance, something here for you to really examine and look at and appraise in your mental field, in your belief system, particularly where self-worth is involved. And why are you so irresistibly drawn? Are you being irresistibly drawn towards honor, towards fairness, towards the gold, the light in this archetype? Well, now this would be the card to look at it, right? The Hermit, the Crone, the Wise One. Please, my angels, please clarify this for this collective truth and integrity. Fuck, right? So that's it. Emotionally, you're like, I'm so screwed if I am not truthful and integrity. And integrity is about honor. It means wholeness, right? Like if you were going to have a house appraised, right, wouldn't you want it to be in its structural integrity, right? Like the foundation has a foundational integrity before you buy it, right? Before you move all of your lovely technology and the friends you keep at an arm's distance. I'm sorry, I'm kidding you. I have slept with so many Aquarians. I feel like I should get a fucking merit badge. And I know one of you are watching. I'm not gonna say your name, but I know one of you are watching. Although we never really did we? No, I'm single. Oh, you're not, right. Oh. The 90s. Remember the 90s? Weren't they lovely? Okay. Let's, I can hear you laughing from here, bitch. Let's look then at this Scorpio. Oh, my angels, would you please step on the same foot at the same time? My tits are falling off. For Hecate. Oh, you have two crowns right next to each other. This is about wisdom and endurance, darling. The crowns endure everything, and still give their wisdom, or they are just nasty. See you next Tuesdays. I use that word like the British use that word, but not on YouTube. Boundaries. All right, my angels, please, one card in clarity for this Aquarian collective, that overview, that Hecate, Scorpio, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, please, one card of clarity for my aquas. That's why the irresistibility. Soulmate. Now, it could be twin flame, but my definition of twin flame ain't what everybody else is saying. Go watch Matt Kahn. Go watch Matt Kahn. Soul contracts, twin flames, and soulmates redefined. This could be a very turbulent thing. So, but I get the irresistibility, right? that there's a hidden agenda here going on. The gods are saying there's a soul contract. Let's just leave it at that. Let's take it out of the romantic context for a hot second. That there is a soul contract at work here, and what is your role in this soul contract? Mediator. So if you were coming to me for a private reading, and if you want one, check the info box below. I got all my info down there. We do Facebook. I do Facebook live reads and Skype reads and all that shit. I got the tech for it. I can do it over the phone. Who does this anymore? It's this, isn't it? Then we would look at, okay, who are the other players in this soul contract so that you could get that larger picture. But Aquarians, that's what you're good at, right? Do the Hermit. Go deeper in and higher up. That's from the last book of the Chronicles of Narnia. I don't remember the name of the final book, but that's what I remember from it. Deeper in and higher up to get to the heaven, essentially. You know, Christian mysticism in allegory form. So to really pull back, right? Pull back. Get that. Don't just pull back. Pull up. Try and see it from the stratosphere, because that is fixed air. Well, Aquarius is fixed air. It's like the stratosphere. The frozen layers of the atmosphere in the planet. You pull up to that like GPS to see the larger picture. So we're going to pull one last card, a whisper of love for you from the voices of the higher selves involved, and then we'll do your overview. Cool. Here we go. Breathe. Higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for this Aquarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for this Samhain season. And Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Please, one card, a whisper of love for the aquas, the water bearers. Ask for help. Do you guys ever ask for help? Live long and prosper, but ask for help. What is it you really need help with? Be willing to allow yourself the support you need. See, maybe it's just me, but all the Aquarians I've ever dealt with, well, the men in particular, it's like they're such loners, right? They're freaks. Like, I stand out, and most of them would just give you the shirt off their fucking backs, right? That they are so humanitarian, they can't help but love and serve, but not necessarily so emotional, right? So the idea of any of them admitting that they're wrong is, what is it doing? It's exposing the vulnerability of a lack of self-worth, which we all have, right? Louise Hay, 101, you can heal your life. Everybody's dealing with one core fear, and it's I'm not good enough, which is what lack of self-worth is, right? But even though everybody's got it, not everybody's a narcissist either. So I'm not saying you're the narcissist. Maybe you are. That's you. You do you. But it feels like this soul contract is about something along those lines, right? About somebody pushing, either trying you to get you put your thumb on the scale for you to like mediate on their behavior, and they might be using narcissistic tactics to do that. And if they are subtle, really Google covert narcissists. Those are the ones that have flown under my radar my whole life, and I just fucking figured it out like last week. And so then you get that sort of Michael, and I don't just mean meditation. I mean, you go, ooh, I love you, bless you, but I love me too, right? You have to demonstrate to them your own self-worth. So ask for help. Counselor, I do spiritual counseling. I do spiritual counseling every single day, not just on these videos. I get calls from people and, you know, clients, obviously. Really easy to book a client with me nowadays. And so, like I said, people are asking for help and reaching out. And sometimes it's just that little piece of information, right? It's like, oh, this is a thing, right? Oh, but they weren't verbally abusive. No, but they've been putting you down subtly, and they've been blowing you off when they say they're going to do something. And now they need you. It feels like now they need you to mediate on their behalf. So just be careful. Let's do your overview. Magic clap. You are the mediator here. The shadow attribute, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. Light attribute, this is what you're shooting for. Gift, a gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. And you know what? That's a little Libra in there, but the humanitarians that I know, my Aquarians, that's really their gift, right? They're like, well, but let's really look at the larger picture, right? Let's see it holistically. Let's see it from a fifth dimensional unity consciousness point of view. But what's the lead in this? Lack of self-worth. And what's the gold in this? Irresistibility. So there's definitely a charge here. You'll know by the energy going through your body, even as I talk about this, what it is in you that is calling to be loved, right? You have to give it voice. You have to say, well, but if I do this, if I don't choose them, if I don't do as I'm told, but you know, Aquarians, you're the rebels of the zodiac. You know, you all got sets of balls. They're air balls, right? But you know, it's what you all do. Live long and prosper, Mr. Spock, Ms. Spock. So what do you want here in your pentacle spread, in your elements? You've got in your element of earth to appraise, but there's an enchantment in place. So maybe to look at, am I enchanted? Is there an irresistible enchantment? Am I enchanted by this person? In other words, am I under some kind of spell? And, you know, I don't necessarily mean, you know, candle, crystal, herb, poof kind of spell, incantations like this is fucking bewitched. More as like, am I under a psychological spell? Am I under an enchantment? And the other side of that, that the gods are at work here. The divine is at work here. So you really, really want to appraise this clearly without the enchantment. That being said, what you have to do that is this Six of Pentacles with the answered prayer. I mean, that's just really lovely, that even though you may be limping along here, though you may really be carrying some lack of self-worth here, that you're at the 6. It's only 4 more to the 10, but you're moving forward. And your prayer has been answered. Every prayer is answered, just not in the way that we expect it to be answered. And you know, the things that we really want, they're really mostly our intuition telling us it's coming, but then we get all judgy about the when and the where and the how, right? So you are going to move forward. There is success here for you. And of course, rely upon the successes you've already had. There's just something different about this mediation that you're doing here that is happening for you, right? This is to help you. And then in the mental field here, we've got this repetitive music of this same old song, the same old song. Like, why do I keep doing this? And that's the thing. There's something repetitive, either about the situation or about the people involved, but with that soulmate card, we'll get there at the top, because what's going on in your emotional field? Truth and integrity with the Hermit, the wise one, needing to go up to pull back and to pull up, and to really see your truth, your integrity is what you're feeling here, as well as how can you be truthful and integrous. Can you follow your intuition? Well, with that lack of self-worth in there, that's a painful thing. You might have to process through that, particularly with your overview here of the Scorpio card, Hecate, Crone of Cups, oh, the crossroads, the shadow, which is what these readings are for, with a soulmate, which to me, soulmates are satisfying. They help you heal, but it is satisfying. It is symbiotic. It is smooth. It is soothing. Twin flames are turbulent, tricky, tumultuous, transformative, hence fire, right? Twin flame. So there's something here certainly about death and rebirth. Something's got to die here, right? Something has to be transformed, involving 8th house. There's mysteries, right? Enchantment, money, sex, power, other people's resources, but not just their physical ones. It can be their opinions, right? What are their resources? So what resource are you so irresistibly drawn to here? And finally, the words of the higher selves of all involved. Ask for help. What you really need. What is it you really need help with? Be willing to allow yourself the support you need, which indicates what you think you need and what you actually need here might be two different things. So there you go, my water bearers, my Aquarians. There is your Samhain read for Samhain Mercury Retrograde for 2019 Mercury Retrograde in Scorpio. May the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury signs be blessed with all that they need to be a fair, golden light mediator, to ask for help, to appraise this wisely. And may they be blessed with all that they need. May you all really be blessed with all that you need this Samhain season, Mercury Retrograde, to heal, to learn, to grow, to alchemize all the guidance and grace possible so that you can be your best and fulfill your role in the divine plan for the well-being of all. And so it is. I love you so much. Blessed Samhain, hail, farewell, and blessed be.